YouTube? It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another live commentary. This is of an older film from 1962, the original Jack the Giant Killer. I'm doing this one because I haven't done a fantasy movie in a while, and this is about 94 minutes, so in color. So let's get it started. I haven't done this movie. The last one I did was Clash of the Titans, and you know how much noise they were making outside. This time I don't have that much of a problem. They're making noise, but not as much. I'm doing it early because I'm like, well, I have other things to do later. So here we go. Edward Small presents the original, not the Jack the Giant Slayer from 2013 or that Asylum version. Didn't grow up with this one. I didn't see this movie until I was an adult. I saw it on TCM back in like the 2000s. Judy Meredith, rest in peace to her and Kerwin Matthews and Torrin Thatcher. It's got a good cast, decent effects for the time. Not as good as Harryhausen, but what are you going to do? At least it's not bad CGI. And also the movie's 94 minutes, not 2.5 hours or 3 hours. Special photographic effects, Fantascope, yeah. An Edward Small production. Josh does his podcast in the afternoon. I usually do mine in the morning or early afternoon. Here we go, a candle. It's very similar to the Seven Voyages of Sinbad. Not everything in that movie is in this movie. You don't say. Pendragon. Plus, it is the year of the dragon, and there's a dragon in this movie with a dog nose. She's a beautiful princess. At least the coronation came out well here. Unlike Elsa, that she got crowned and then her ice powers showed up and she had to leave. Yep. Hey, look, a duck. Yeah, in disguise. Normandy. Good morning, John. This movie's such a classic. Yeah, it is for its time. It's a cult classic. I like seeing practical effects and people in real costumes. In this movie, Thorin Thatcher is a lot pale, more pale than he was in Sakura. This actor was in The Honeymooners. It's a doll that moves. She's very cute. I still will take this stop motion animation any day over bad CG, which looks like a bad video game cutscene. Because at least this was made by hands, not computers. And I didn't see this as a kid because I couldn't find a rental tape of it when I was a kid. I saw the Sinbad movies. I saw Jason and the Argonauts and some of Clash of the Titans when I was a kid. Wait, keep the arrow over here. I also saw the 1 million years BC, when dinosaurs ruled the earth. I only saw that like once or twice because it wasn't in English. Now I can handle it because I've seen a lot of foreign movies in this decade. He has a sideburns and a beard. He's going to be a bad guy. And even the makeup effects in this movie are really well done. For a movie over 50 years old, well, over 60 years old, 62 years, it still looks amazing. Always. Too busy to be sexy. Too busy being sexy, that is. Mm-hmm. Here comes the villain again. But unlike in Sinbad, where he turns the princess into a miniature, here he attacks her. He doesn't make her small. Yeah, why can't you find another girl to scare? He has those creepy eyes. Mm-hmm. Unlike most films that came out last year, this movie didn't cost 200 million. No, and they didn't need it because they did the best they could with the budget they did have. Because back then they didn't have a budget that big. A movie didn't have a budget that big until Titanic. Yeah. Money doesn't make a movie. A good script and good characters and a relentless pace. That's what makes a movie. The spectacle is just one part of the film. You also need structure. He grows because he's a giant. Some people don't like the effects in this movie, but they look Oscar worthy compared to some of the CG I had to sit through last year. Yes, I know. Her name is Elaine. I know. You saw? You think Disney had a big budget back then in the 60s? No. Because Walt died around one a few years after this came out, and Disney suffered for a while. The company suffered. You saw there's blood in the movie, yeah. There's some blood. It was the 60s. Movies were getting more violent. Jack doesn't show up until about 20 minutes into the movie. Because they would do kind of this animation in Robot Chicken with dolls, stop motion. There is a monster that looks completely ridiculous in this movie, but that's near the end. It's not the dragon at the end. It's some other creature that shows up. It looks like a cartoon character. Because the movie's called Jack the Giant Killer. There's Jack. 13 minutes in. Real horses. Mm-hmm. Because when I saw those CGI horses in Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, why is this in Star Wars? They don't ride on horses. In Star Wars, they do not ride on horses. The Ewoks movie doesn't count. That's a spinoff. They rode on other creatures, but not horses. It looks like claymation, yeah. And Jack kills the giant without any help, by the way, by himself with his wit and smarts. They captured a princess again, guys. It's not sexist. This is the way it was back then. If they did that in the Mario movie, it wouldn't have bothered me because that happens in the game. But times are different now. Yep, I'm gonna break the door. I need a girl. Excuse me. A woman getting rescued is not a bad thing, guys. Sorry. But even Princess Leia, she got captured. A man had to save her. Two men. And Chewbacca. Hmm. Nope, you can't hide, Jack. You gotta kill this thing. Because I have seen effects from movies decades later that look way, way worse. They even look bad now. Because the effects are so bad and imaginary that they have to keep it in the dark. Then don't put effects in the movie. If you're not proud of the effects you did in a movie, don't put them in the freaking movie. Just you could do better. I'd rather have no effects and have bad effects on screen. We're like, whoa, that looks terrible. This doesn't look terrible. For its time, it's fine. Yep, he squishes the giant's hand. Ooh. He throws a rope right around his neck. Bombs away. Yep, he hangs him. See, no superpowers. He just uses his smart mind. Take that bucket in your face. Now he hacks it to death. Mm-hmm. Ooh, he punched Jack out. Mm-hmm. Yep. He defeated the giant. Hmm. A beautiful brunette girl. Does that sound familiar? Also, stop taking romance out of movies that I want to see, you know, because it kind of diminishes the heterosexuality that's in Hollywood that still exists. It's not rare anymore, guys. It still exists. His mother. This is not Jack and the Beanstalk. When he goes up a beanstalk, no, this is a different story. They probably couldn't afford a beanstalk, so they were like, "No, let's just have him kill giants in England." Porridge. I like the art direction as well. There's a lot of color. Dwarf like. And that's the end of that scene. Just like Dracula, right? I don't know why his eyes like this, like he's Popeye. These costumes are amazing in the movie too. These creatures that they have in Pendragon's castle. Imbecile. We have failed. Yeah. They dubbed this into a musical for some reason. I'm like, why would you ever dub this movie? The movie's in English, it's not dubbed. Hmm. For now, Sir Jack. Plus, it's a lot lighter. It's not as dark as some scenes in Clash of the Titans, where that literally Zeus like sends a Titan to the Kraken to destroy a city. There's nothing like that here. There's some damage, but nothing like that. Who's young, like me? Yep, title drop. That's right, kiss her. They're cute together. You must be aware of spirits and wit of Pendragon. It's a cool name. Yeah, no kidding. He's actually a warlock, but because witches are female usually. Look at Scarlet Witch. Look at the Wicked Witch of the West, or Agatha Harkness. Well, I'm seeing her show, but it's probably going to be later this year. That's a nice costume. He also did another movie called The Three Worlds of Gulliver. I haven't done that one because I don't own that one, but I think they have it on streaming. So I could do it sometime in the spring or summer. Goodbye, Father. This movie is not like Shang-Chi where we have to make people read subtitles. That's the problem with the movie. It wasn't the action or the acting or even the visuals or even the third act, which a lot of people had. I didn't want to read the first 9 minutes. It gets really, really repetitive. And I'm like, I know they wanted to make an Asian movie, but make it 2 minutes. You don't have to make it 9 minutes. I'm like, this is not Shin Godzilla or Godzilla minus one. Just saying. The sequel, you don't need subtitles. We got that out of the way. Let it be in English, please. I'm not the only one that won't read subtitles. Logan didn't have any subtitles, and we really needed it for X-23. That's why she doesn't talk for half the movie. She's so lovely, man. I miss her too. He's wearing a hat like Peter Pan. This is around the time that the Disney Peter Pan came out. It's like 10 years after. Mm-hmm. There's some dialogue here that I wasn't a big fan of, but again, that's only because it's a period piece. Yeah, this lady's actually a traitor, but because she's possessed by a pendragon. There's a bird in here, like in no animals were harmed in this movie. So there's a dog, a bird, and there's I think an ape. Yeah, no animals were harmed. Birdie, birdie, birdie. I don't know if that's a crow or a raven. You saw it was trying to peck her because they don't like birds like that. Don't like to be held. I saw the crow. Those things do not like to be held like a bunny rabbit. See, the bird is not acting. See, Short scenes. You don't have to drag a scene out for 10 minutes. Happiest Millionaire. If they're sailing like they do injected in the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Hey, John, I'm rewatching Inspector Gadget 2. Yeah, that's a good one. I think it's a lot better. There's Peter. He has a gnome hat or an elf. There's a leprechaun in the movie, too. Paint. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what smartest paint means. This music. This music is romantic. There's no genie in this one. Hmm. That's sweet. Hmm. I guess I could shut this off for now. Yeah, this is a good scene. It is a fantasy classic, Spidey. Because unlike the movies of today where they put a blue filter around it, it would look dated now, but at least it's not a red filter. Because that looks terrible. That looks like the Virtual Boy. Yep, I'm gonna set your ship on fire. I don't care what you say. They use animation for the fire. Like I said, some of the dialogue is a little bit, yeah, cringe, but it's not because it's badly written. It's just for its time. The blue filter is a nice touch because it makes it look, trippy for the 60s. Yes, this didn't have the Multiverse of Madness budget, Josh, because again, it was 1962. I don't know what the most expensive movie was that year, but it wasn't this one. He's a cute kid and he's not annoying. Like some of the kids I had to sit through in Star Wars The Bad Batch, etc. There's a witch that can blow that one. It blows breath. The kid the kid is cute in this movie, yeah. It's a good actor for the time. Yep. He's blowing air. It looks like a lizard. I know there were some heavy winds throughout this year so far. Gotcha. There are some deaths in the movie, like I said, but the main characters, no, they stay alive. He got blown back into the room. And we're 37 minutes into the movie. That's about a third of the running time. You can make a sequel that respected the source material, yeah, and make it less unbearable like than the last movie, because that 1999 movie was terrible. This movie is longer than Inspector Gadget 1999. This movie from the 60s was 94 minutes. That's what it should have been, not 76 minutes. That's way too short. For a theatrical release, it could have been a little bit longer, at least 80 or 90 minutes longer. 80 or 90 minutes. Those effects look pretty good for 62 years old. I've seen way worse, guys. I've seen stuff from the asylum that looked laughable. A skeleton, a dead bride. Got a great scream. Hurricane winds. Yeah, so Elaine didn't come from the Seinfeld TV show. It was in a bunch of movies before then. Even Ghostbusters 2 had an Elaine in it in a cameo. His poor dad. Jack becomes like his surrogate father in a way, and also Sigurd the Viking, who I like. I like him. He's a good character. Some good characters here. Those witches were pretty scary. I'm glad my sister didn't see this movie when she was a little girl because it would have terrified her. Hmm. Ooh, that's racist. Oh, yeah. Again, the crew turned on Jack. It's like the men turned on this guy. This music is really good. It's very adventurous. Way better than the 1999 film because this movie actually has charm and personality. The lead is not a doofus. No, Jack. And then Peter goes to save him. See, he's a brave little boy. It's not funny. The man almost drowned and you knocked him into the water. And so there's a table there. They got to safety. It's a nice shot of the castle. I miss stop motion and matte paintings and real sets. Something that you can't do with a computer nowadays, where it looks like a cartoon. And I'm like, no, people want to see real. When you're doing live action, not a CGI cartoon. We want to see ISIS. Ooh, yeah, no thanks. You saw a skeleton hand. You saw that he has a scepter. Is that a donkey or a bunny rabbit? And this movie's not as weird as Tank Girl. That was too weird. Soundtrack in this movie is more memorable than the soundtrack from the sequel trilogy. Yeah, this one she transforms. She has like snake eyes. To put lipstick on her and white makeup. Like a Disney princess. She doesn't say a word. See, she's not overacting or screaming or anything. She screams at the end. I love how he removes his cape like Dracula. Disney's last villain like this that was cool was Maleficent. You know, that had like kind of like a cape like us that was really dark. I would have said Magnifico, who I did like and wish, but he's not scary. It's Chris Pine really trying in a movie that has a protagonist that's not interesting. Here, Jack is interesting. Peter's interesting. Sigurd is interesting, and the Leprechaun, and even Elaine. Even when she gets enchanted, you know, with that spell, she's still a beautiful girl and has charm. Of course not. Nope, it's an image. It's a hologram, in a way. Lord of the Rings, yeah, I love the score on that. Your throne. That's what they wanted at the end of Game of Thrones, right? All this hoopla was for a throne. Wow. You know, I've sat at a throne and it's not as glamorous as you guys think it is. Hmm. That's what the whole story was about, huh? And I guess House of the Dragon is how they get to the Game of Thrones. Nope. Kazam or Shazam. He has a good laugh. Why do they have snake eyes? Yeah, break the mirror again, just like in a Disney movie. You know, mirror, mirror on the wall and all that. Yeah, it's a good effect too. Yes, we heard you the third time. That was a pretty easy, like breaking the spell. When Jack has to do it, he has to wait till the end of the movie. There's Sigurd the Viking. It's cool. He's like Gimli in Lord of the Rings. That he's a dwarf with an axe. There's some good actors here, some good American actors. So it's not totally British like everything is now, where every movie has to have a Brit. Because British accents are really epic, aren't they? No, they bore me to death, especially now. Back then, I could take it. Now it just they have to make the movies 3 hours, and I'm like, will you please shut up? Here, I'm like, I get it. Even in Jules Verne's Mysterious Island, there's a lot of Brits in that too. But again, movie for its time. Hmm. So have I. There's the leprechaun. He comes late in the movie. Like the genie in Sinbad comes early in the film. This leprechaun comes almost an hour into the movie. Yes, he talks Irish, Josh. He talks me powers and me gold and all that. Yes. A tour, you see. I know it's a little late for St. Patrick's Day, but I dare you. Yes, Josh, I know that Clon Farrell talks like that, but again, I'm still going to watch The Penguin. Are you going to put this in your top 5 films of 1962? It depends what other films came out that year. It's an honorable mention at least, because I enjoy it for what it is. Yes, he talks in rhyme. Gold. Mm. Again, like a genie. Again, he's Irish. You get it, guys? I know. There's a lot of Irish people in the MCU. It is a fun movie. I love rewatching this movie. I like it more than Lonely Street because it's got more of the charm that I'm looking for. Also, it doesn't have stupid toilet humor or sex jokes. And there's real water. They sail on real water. It's not CG like Way of Water where everything looks like a cutscene from a video game. I would say the PS5 because I'm like everything is CGI. I'm like, what am I supposed to be looking at that's real? None of this is real. It's just it looks fake. It's too much. It's too much CGI. When they have too much, it becomes overbearing. It becomes sensory overload, like X-Men Apocalypse or Avatar or even like Gods of Egypt. Ooh, that's horrible. He has a sword and a shield, like Link from Legend of Zelda. You could take notes from movies like this, or even Warcraft. Like you could have the adventure. Plus, it's basically the same plot. A young man is searching for a princess. Wink, wink. At that's it. Put it on a magic spell and save her from a tyrant. Again, that's Zelda, guys. This plot is basically the Legend of Zelda, except Jack is not, an imp. He's a grown man because Link starts as a little boy in the Legend of Zelda, the first game, and he goes to a castle again. That's Legend of Zelda. That franchise owes a lot to old folklore and mythologies from other countries. Basically, he's Ganon, just he's not a pig. He's no, not the gate. Those are the knights that walk like this. Yes, there's knights like this in Zelda. They're called dark nuts. I did see the riff tracks live of this at home a few years ago. It's pretty funny. No, not my shield. Here we come. Missed. He gives him a whip like a Castlevania game. hmm Link also uses a whip, I think, yeah, as well. Not as much as a sword, but he has the hook shot, which is kind of like a whip. If this was made today, the kid from Deadpool 2 would have been in the movie saying cringe dialogue. Yeah, it would have been annoying. Or it'd be some British chick that wouldn't shut up. Mm-hmm. Whip it good, Zach. He's pointing to over there. We're in the third act already. We got about 30 minutes left. An hour, and it goes pretty quickly. This movie has a much faster pace than any movie I saw in the theater that was 2 hours or three, 2.5 hours last year. Let me tell you, because The Flash, it took way too long to get to the end. By the time we got to the third act, I was exhausted. Here, it's a much faster pace because it's only 94 minutes, not 2 hours and 34 minutes. Sometimes less is more. Less running time doesn't mean studio mandates. It just means that we don't want to waste too much of your time. Makes sense. I mean, a movie like this won't work in 2.5 hours. It'd be padded. Hmm. Hmm. It's got big fingernails. Yep. Nope. Not working. The leprechaun does help him out of a jam. Nope. Yep. You missed. You could try scratching Jack. Pendragon just used the animation to try to stop him in. You could have scratched him. Yep. He wants the girl. That is a cool looking costume. No, it's just a leprechaun. Yep, it always needs a woman's touch. She kind of has a Karen Gillian kind of face, Judy Meredith. That's a nice map painting. Hmm. 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 Yeah, you're gonna let the girl pour it. She drugs him. Yep, she slipped him a Mickey. Since this movie has a dragon in it, I'll say that this kind of reminds me of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, because there's some magical spells in that too. Except that movie was a little bit too long. 2 hours and 10 minutes was, yeah, a bit. How sweet. Again, we can't resist the estrogen. We can't. Sorry, Disney and your pride, but that is the only thing in this world that I would ever kiss on the lips. It's like, oh god. That's why I don't let somebody drug my drink. I keep my drink close to me. Never let somebody put powder on it. This was the '60s. There was a lot of illegal drugs back then. Hmm. It's like that witch that was that bald headed discount Scarlet Witch in Dungeons and Dragons, where she was pretending to be Chloe Coleman, and she's like, ha 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 ha. I kind of saw that coming. Hmm. The stop motion doesn't come back until the third act of the movie. The You have another giant, two-headed giant, and then you have this thing that comes out of the water, which it cracks me up because it looks so ridiculous. But we'll get to that. Yes, master. All the characters are captured except for the imp because he fell in the water. So he defies the villain all the way to the end. While I prefer Clash of the Titans, even though it's a little bit long, it's also because you get to see more skin in that movie. Because Andromeda, you see all of her heavenly body. Yep, he turns him into a dog. Yeah, he turns Peter into an ape. You know, like Planet of the Apes. It's real. There's no stop motion here. That poor kid. He turns the boy into an ape. Yep, it's a chimp, a chimpanzee. Really trained animals. They're not CGI. That's what I have a problem with the Planet of the Apes movies that recently came out. All the apes are CG. There's not one practical effect. At least with Kong, he's a giant ape, so he fights another giant ape. That makes sense. Plus, they have real people behind it, even though some of the human characters suck. But in Planet of the Apes, who am I supposed to root for in these new ones? I don't know. I don't think the effects look that great. I think they look fine, but I want more practical, people in makeup instead of having to put CG for everything. In Kong, it's fine. Here, it's like it's a little bit too ambitious. He breaks the spell too for the girl. Hmm. There's a really good makeup effects. The snake eyes are a bit much. Yes. I don't like girls that wear contacts like that. There's her Witch of the West who laugh. It's a good effect that she looks normal on the outside, but on the inside, in the mirror. Yes, ape. Could do it, ape. See, I prefer real apes or people in makeup. Hmm. That's why you break mirror. I want you back because I want to marry you. Hmm. She's in the makeup a lot longer than the Constance or the handmaiden. See, at least she only said it twice, not four times. Pendragon will not change. He changes into a giant dragon, which is a cool effect. I mean, for the time, even though the nose looks like a dog. I guess they didn't want it to look like every other dragon in the movie. Hmm. 7 years of bad luck. Well, I don't believe in that because I don't have a mirror in my room, not on the wall. Got to see if my package came. Let me see. At, at least when the princess, those are cool. You saw it's a not. It's like Evil Dead 2 did this. Again, a really nice map painting. There's another giant, a two-headed giant this time. I'll just check at the end. Here comes the second giant of the movie. Two-headed giant this time. An hour and 20 minutes in. There's the ape. Go get him, Peter. And he has one more wish. This creature looks ridiculous. Yeah, Godzilla. This is not. Look at this creature. Look, it looks like a Rankin Bass creature. Look at that. It's a giant lizard with a goofy face. It would have been cool if the face wasn't so goofy and has googly eyes. That effect just cracks me up, man. It doesn't even have arm. It has just arms. It doesn't have any legs or anything. That is the most ridiculous thing in the movie, and that's saying a lot because, the giants look okay. I'm saying that creature. I'm like, I saw that and I was laughing. The dog is also stop motion, but it looks okay. Don't worry. Again, no animals were harmed. Yeah, that lizard was so useless in the movie. It only gets like a minute of screen time and dies. Take that, you giant. Peter's helping. He's throwing rocks at him. Yep. Pimp slapped right in the face. That's the only thing that this creature does. That's right. Bite his neck. Whip. Yeah, it's probably the weakest effect of the movie, only because because it looks laughable because it's got googly eyes. The rest of the movie, I like the effects. Yep. Now he's like he gets angry. Here he comes. He turns into a dragon. Look at that. That looks awesome for the time. hmm Time to end this. Let's end this third act on a high note. After that googly creature, the lizard with the googly eyes. Yep, Jack has to do it on his own. The end fight scene is the highlight of the movie. Yeah, it is because it's on the cover of most of the posters of this movie. They show the dragon. It's a decent effect. It's a lot better than that green lizard. It's not Game of Thrones dragons or the one from Dragonheart, but it still looks pretty good. Still looks better than the CGI abomination. Hmm. Just to jump on his back and then stab him. It's like a boss at the end of a video game. That's right, Pendragon. You're gonna get yours. I'm gonna cut your nose off. They don't make movies like this anymore, man. They really don't. Hmm. That's right. Stab him. Final blow. Yep. Hmm. It's a pretty violent kill for a dragon. Jack puts all of his might into that stab. Yep, he got him. And his animated flame essence goes away, and now the spell's broken, and like the end of the first Castlevania game, the castle crumbles. Again, video games took a lot from these old movies. Because in Zelda, the castle doesn't crumble. No, when Link beats Ganon, he blows up, and then he saves Princess Zelda and repairs the Triforce of power. Mm-hmm. Sigurd is human again, and Peter's a little boy again. At least they did something in the plot. It's a good cast too. I really enjoy the cast. Torrin Thatcher was a good villain, and Jack, Kiro Matthews. I miss him, even though I know what he was. But again, his character works for me. Happy ending. Never twice. Yep, I agree with that. Which Ireland? Northern or just regular Ireland? See ya, imp from the bottle. A rainbow. In the sky. That's where it belongs. In the sky. Not the rainbow flags that I see every year. See, why can't a Disney movie end like this now? With a romantic kiss. You know that's what we live for, guys. And there it is. That was Jack the Giant Killer from 1962. I had fun doing this. I wish Josh could have joined me, but he could see this later. It's a fun movie. It still holds up really well, mostly. Yeah. It's a fun movie, and I would say if you can watch it, it's on Tubi. You can watch it for free there, so it's not hard to find on streaming. It's also, I think, on YouTube as well. It's a classic. It's definitely glad I own it because it's probably out of print now. Never got a 4K because it's some old movie from over 60 years ago. But thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me, and I'll see you guys next time. I won't be doing a podcast tomorrow, just a review possibly. Give myself a little break. But it is a movie for its time, and it still holds up considering that there's movies now that don't hold up after a month, much less 62 years. That was the movie. Glad to own it. I'm glad to see it again after so many years. See you in the next one.